Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up, because what just leaked out of the Chicago court system might be the biggest twist yet in this ongoing war between Lil Durk and Kingvon's mom. Sources close to the case have confirmed that secret courtroom recordings have surfaced. Recordings that were never meant to see the light of day. And if what's inside those tapes is real, then this story isn't about money anymore. It's about manipulation, betrayal, and the truth Durk allegedly tried to bury. According to insiders, these recordings capture Lil Durk's legal team in closed-door meetings discussing evidence, strategies, and conversations that could flip the entire $8 million lawsuit upside down. One voice, reportedly Durk's attorney, can be heard saying, "We can't let that file reach the press. If it does, it's over." The internet exploded the moment that clip hit social media, and fans have been dissecting every second since. Was this the smoking gun that Kingvon's mom needed to prove her case? Or is someone manipulating audio to destroy Durk's defense before trial? The tension's boiling, the streets are whispering, and the rap world can't decide what's real and what's revenge. Because if these recordings are authentic, they don't just expose a legal strategy, they expose a cover-up. And it might end Durk's entire empire. When the news broke, it felt like the internet stopped breathing for a second. The term Lil Durk's secret court recordings started trending before anyone even knew what the recordings actually were. Within an hour, blogs, fan pages, and entire YouTube channels were dissecting something that hadn't even been confirmed yet. But that's the thing with scandals like this. In today's culture, people don't wait for truth. They chase emotion, and this story had plenty of it. According to early reports, the leaked audio files were allegedly taken from a private courtroom conference between Lil Durk's legal team and several attorneys connected to the ongoing $8 million lawsuit filed by Kingvon's mom. The files were marked confidential and never meant for public release. But once they surfaced, it was too late to pull them back. Clips started circulating online, rough, grainy, and full of tense whispers and muffled voices. And while no one could confirm where the leak came from, the content inside was enough to ignite chaos. The most explosive clip was less than a minute long, but it changed everything. In it, a man believed to be one of Durk's attorneys said, "If we can delay her evidence submission for another 60 days, we might not have to face the cross-examination." Fans went wild. "Delay her evidence?" they said. "What are they hiding?" That single line was replayed millions of times, spliced into TikToks, and debated across forums like a mystery waiting to be solved. But it didn't stop there. Another voice, quieter but more emotional, could be heard saying, "We can't let the public see those statements from 2021. It'll look bad for Durk." And that was enough for people to start connecting the dots. The same year that Kingvon was killed, Durk's name had already been dragged through rumors, and now, it seemed like someone was trying to cover something that could reopen old wounds. Meanwhile, Kingvon's mom, known to fans as Tasha, was watching all of this unfold in real time. According to people close to her, she didn't even know about the recordings until the internet tagged her in hundreds of posts. Her first reaction was reportedly shock, not just at what was said, but at the idea that someone on the inside was feeding this to the world. An insider later told a blog, she felt like this was divine timing, like God was making the truth come out by itself. Soon after, Tasha broke her silence. She didn't go live. She didn't post a rant. Instead, she uploaded a single Instagram story with just 3 words written over a black screen. He knew better. That was it. No captions, no hashtags. But that story alone sent the entire fan base spiraling. Some thought she was hinting at guilt. Others believed she was speaking about betrayal, not legal strategy. Meanwhile, Lil Durk's camp went into panic mode. Within hours, his lawyers released an official statement claiming that the so-called recordings were manipulated digital forgeries created to defame an active legal case. But by that point, no one cared about official statements. The damage had already been done. A major entertainment outlet claimed to have verified voice similarities between Durk's attorney and the man in the tape, and that's all fans needed to believe it was real. They weren't waiting for proof anymore. The streets had already made up their mind. "He tried to bury the case," one fan commented. But God doesn't play about the truth. What made things even more complicated was that Kingvon's mom's attorney, a woman named Monica Reeves, refused to confirm or deny whether the recordings would be used in court. When asked by reporters, she simply smiled and said, "We'll address it when it matters." That subtle response was enough to send another wave of speculation through the media. YouTubers began claiming they had access to the full audio. Twitter, threads with time-stamped transcripts went viral. Some even broke down the voices, labeling each one as Durk, lawyer, witness, or associate. One tweet said, "The real story isn't the $8 million. It's what Durk's team was hiding all along." In Chicago, the tension started spilling offline. Radio stations began running segments about the case, and barbershops, clubs, and even local stores were buzzing about the same thing. What's in those tapes? And then, out of nowhere, another leak hit. A 14-second clip, much clearer than the first, where a male voice could be heard saying, "Delete the folder before the clerk sees it." The internet lost its mind. Some claimed that it was taken out of context, that it could have been about irrelevant paperwork, but others didn't buy it. To them, this was the smoking gun. The blogs went into overdrive. Say Cheese TV ran a headline that read, "Durk's team caught deleting evidence. Fans demand answers." The clip spread faster than the original lawsuit story. Even Candidly Cassie dedicated a full live stream to it, breaking down every possible angle. "If these tapes are real," she said, "this isn't just about a mother fighting for justice. This is about someone trying to rewrite history and getting caught doing it." The next morning, a Chicago Tribune journalist revealed that the court had officially acknowledged the leaks. In a press note, it was confirmed that an internal investigation was underway into the unauthorized release of sealed materials. That meant the recordings were real, at least in some form. Fans erupted. For some, it was validation. For others, it was fear. Fear that this entire case was bigger than anyone realized. Theories started flooding in. Was there corruption in the legal system? Was Durk being set up? Or had his team gone too far trying to protect him? Meanwhile, Lil Durk stayed silent. No posts, no tweets, not even a story. For the first time since the lawsuit began, he completely disappeared from social media. But when his silence stretched past 3 days, people started assuming the worst. A well-known Chicago blogger claimed that Durk's management had advised him to go dark until the noise settles. But insiders said something different, that he was furious, demanding to know who leaked the files. According to one anonymous source, Durk feels betrayed. He thinks someone from his own circle did it, someone who had access to the documents. The betrayal narrative started spreading. Fans speculated on names, trying to figure out who inside OTF might have been close enough to leak private evidence. Some even pointed fingers at old associates who had recently distanced themselves from the crew. The atmosphere was heavy. For the first time, the case wasn't just about family versus fame. It was about loyalty, truth, and the crumbling trust inside the empire that Von and Durk once built together. As one fan commented on X, "If Von was alive, none of this would have gone this far." But deep down, everyone knew this was just the beginning. Because if those tapes were real, the next drop could destroy everything. Within 48 hours, the internet was no longer just reacting. It was investigating. Everyone from fan pages to anonymous Twitter accounts started piecing together their own timelines of what happened, when, and why. One user even claimed they had metadata proof, showing the original court recording was from an internal Zoom session during the first hearing of the $8 million lawsuit. Whether that was true or not didn't matter. The story had already taken a life of its own. Then came the leak that changed everything. A longer, 3-minute audio file labeled Court Call 7A Final.mp3. It dropped on Reddit first, then spread like wildfire to TikTok, YouTube, and Telegram. In this one, a man's voice, allegedly Lil Durk's, could be heard saying, "If they push this, I'm not going down alone. I'll tell them what really happened that night." The internet collectively lost its mind. People didn't care if it was deep fake or edited. It sounded real enough. And that's all it took for the rumor machine to go into overdrive. Fans were posting side-by-side comparisons of Durk's voice from old interviews, matching waveforms and frequencies. "Same tone, same breath," one YouTuber said in his breakdown. "That's him." Meanwhile, Kingvon's mom Tasha had gone quiet. No posts, no comments, no reactions. But one of her cousins went live late that night and hinted that they got more than audio. When pressed for details, she smiled and said, "You'll see soon." That 5-second clip fueled 1,000 theories. Some said she was bluffing. Others believed a video existed, proof of conversations or evidence never seen before. As if that wasn't enough, the following morning, an anonymous email was sent to multiple news outlets, including Say Cheese TV and Candidly Cassie, claiming to contain the full legal archive from the Durk versus Bennett case. Both platforms refused to post it publicly, fearing legal retaliation, but screenshots started leaking anyway. They showed official Cook County letterheads, timestamps, and what looked like lists of suppressed evidence. The headlines came fast. Lil Durk caught in new leak. Fans say cover-up confirmed. And Kingvon's mom's legal team reacts to leaks. We're not surprised. Behind the scenes, Durk's legal team was reportedly in chaos. According to sources close to the situation, they were scrambling to find out how the recordings got out. One of his lawyers even resigned midweek, citing a breach of trust within the client's circle. That move alone set off alarms everywhere. Fans began speculating that the resignation meant guilt. Why quit now? One comment read, "If everything's fake, fight it." At this point, it wasn't just blogs and YouTubers talking about it. Mainstream hip-hop news outlets were now treating it like a full-scale scandal. The source ran an article titled, "The Lil Durk Tapes: How Legal Leaks Rocked the Rap World." Even TMZ sent a reporter to Chicago for comment, but they were met with a no statement from Durk's team. Meanwhile, Monica Reeves, attorney for Tasha, finally made her move. Standing outside the courthouse, surrounded by flashing cameras, she delivered one of the coldest lines of the year. For months, they've called this lawsuit a lie. For weeks, they've called us bitter. But when the truth leaks, suddenly no one wants to talk. That clip alone was enough to put the entire internet back on her side. Inside the courthouse, the tension was suffocating. A private emergency hearing was scheduled to address the leak. Journalists weren't allowed inside, but as always, someone leaked details. According to an insider, Durk's lawyers requested temporary suppression of all leaked media, but the judge allegedly denied the motion, stating that the court cannot control public domain dissemination. Translation: the leaks were out there, and staying out there. By nightfall, another bombshell dropped. A Chicago-based hacker group claimed responsibility for leaking the files, posting on Telegram, "The world deserves to know the truth." This isn't about clout, it's about justice for Von. Whether they were real hackers or just opportunists didn't matter. The internet believed them. Within hours, their post had been shared over 500,000 times. That night, Lil Durk finally broke his silence. On Instagram stories, he posted a black screen with one line of text, "Y'all don't know the half." No follow-up. No clarification, just that. But in the comment sections, fans weren't buying it. One wrote, "Then tell us the other half." Another said, "Too late, bro. The truth is talking louder than you now." Over the next 2 days, the court of public opinion completely flipped. Hashtags like Durk Tapes, Justice for Von, and cover-up files dominated social media. Some of Durk's old collaborators unfollowed him, while others went radio silent. A popular DJ even pulled one of his new tracks off a playlist, tweeting, "Not supporting this energy till we know what's real." Meanwhile, people began revisiting old interviews, searching for signs. In one clip from 2021, Durk said, "I lost my brother, and I gotta carry that weight forever." Fans started connecting that quote to the leaked audio, saying it was foreshadowing guilt. It didn't matter that he'd said it in grief. Context no longer existed. Then something strange happened. Out of nowhere, a new account appeared on Instagram called Truth Inside the Tape. It had no profile picture, no bio, and only one post, a snippet of yet another audio file. In this one, a voice that sounded like a courtroom clerk said, "This should have been filed last year." The caption read, "The real story starts here." That single post gained over 400K followers in less than 24 hours. Everyone, from fans to media, was watching that page, waiting for the next upload. Some thought it was a troll, others believed it was someone from inside the courthouse, and a few even said it was Tasha's team playing chess in public. But while all this noise flooded the internet, something quieter and far more dangerous was happening behind closed doors. Insiders close to OTF claimed that Durk was furious, not at the media, but at his own people. He allegedly called an emergency meeting with his management and inner circle, demanding to know who had access to the files. "He's paranoid now," one insider said. "He thinks everyone's got something on him." And that's when another twist dropped. A supposed friend from his camp came forward anonymously, saying the tapes were only part of the story. "They ain't leaked everything yet," the source said in a voice message sent to a blog. "The real stuff, the messages, the names, that's next." That line sent shockwaves through the fandom. Everyone started counting down, waiting for the so-called next drop. Reddit threads filled up with wild theories. Some said it was Von's old producer who leaked everything. Others claimed Durk's former assistant sold the audio to blogs for 6 figures. Regardless of who was behind it, one thing was clear. The story wasn't just exposing court secrets anymore. It was exposing the cracks inside Durk's empire. And somewhere, in all that chaos, one question kept echoing louder and louder. If the tapes are real, what else are they hiding? By the time the sun rose on the following Monday, the internet was drowning in chaos. More clips, more voices, more supposed proof. The line between fact and fiction had completely disappeared, and even people inside the Chicago legal scene were struggling to tell what was real anymore. But one thing was clear: this had gone way past a lawsuit. This was now about power, legacy, and survival. At 9:47 a.m., a verified news account broke the story that would take this case from scandal to history. The FBI had officially requested access to the leaked court recordings. The report claimed federal investigators wanted to determine if the recordings violated wiretap laws or if someone inside the court system had been paid to smuggle information out. Suddenly, this wasn't just a civil case anymore. It was potential criminal territory. Lil Durk's legal team immediately went into lockdown mode. They released a carefully worded statement saying, "Our client is fully cooperating with federal authorities and denies any involvement in illegal communications." But behind the scenes, insiders said things were tense. One source described the atmosphere as meltdown level. Another insider close to the camp said Durk had told his team, "If they come for me, they better come with proof." Meanwhile, Kingvon's mom, Tasha, returned to social media for the first time in over a week. She posted a photo of her son with a caption that said, "You can't silence the truth forever." Within minutes, it had hundreds of thousands of comments, from fans, rappers, and even industry veterans who had been quiet till now. Some called her brave, others warned her to be careful. But everyone could feel it. Something massive was about to drop. And then, late that night, it did. A 4-minute clip uploaded anonymously to multiple platforms, longer, clearer, and far more damaging than anything before. This one wasn't just a conversation between lawyers. It included what sounded like Durk himself in a private discussion about the lawsuit. The audio was rough, but the words were unmistakable. "We just gotta pay whoever leaking this stuff before they drop the rest. I can't let it go public." Not the part about the deal. That one line set the internet on fire. The deal he mentioned became the biggest mystery of the year. What deal? With who? And why did he sound so desperate to keep it hidden? Within hours, a Durk deal was trending #1 across the country. Fan pages, journalists, and conspiracy accounts all jumped in, claiming they had inside information. Some said the deal referred to undisclosed royalties connected to Von's music. Others claimed it was about hush money paid to a former insider. Candidly, Cassie dropped an emergency livestream that night saying, "This is no longer speculation. This is implosion. What we're hearing now could end careers, reputations, and maybe even freedom." By morning, the FBI had officially launched a cyber forensic analysis into the leaks. And in a stunning move, the Chicago District Court ordered a temporary halt on all proceedings related to the $8 million lawsuit until digital materials can be verified. Statement read like a cliffhanger itself. But here's the twist nobody expected. By evening, both Lil Durk's and Kingvon's mom's lawyers released a joint statement. It read, "Both parties request privacy as new information is being handled by federal authorities. This case has grown beyond its original intent. No further public comments will be made." That single post changed everything. The joint statement meant one thing: both sides had seen something behind the scenes that the public hadn't. Something serious enough to force silence. For days, fans flooded comment sections demanding answers. Why team up now? Did they settle? What's in those tapes that scared both of them? But there were no answers, just silence. 2 weeks later, Lil Durk resurfaced online. Not with a statement, not with a press release, but with a song. A 2-minute freestyle dropped at midnight called "Buried Lines." The lyrics were haunting. They leaked my pain, not my truth. They played the tape, but not the proof. They wrote my story. Line for line, but they never lived what's mine. It instantly hit 1 million views. Fans flooded to the comments, arguing whether it was a confession, a message, or just art. Some swore they heard Von's name hidden in the ad-libs. Others said it was just Durk, finally reclaiming his story. Kingvon's mom didn't respond publicly, but a few days later, she was spotted leaving Cook County Court with her lawyer, smiling faintly for the first time since the case began. When a reporter shouted, "Is it over?" she simply replied, "The truth always finds its way." The internet erupted one last time. But after that, the noise started to fade. The leaks stopped. The theories slowed down. The accounts that had been dropping clips went dark. It was as if the entire scandal had been swallowed by silence. To this day, no one knows exactly what was on those final recordings or what deal was made behind closed doors. Some say there was a quiet settlement. Others believe federal agents found something deeper, something that would never reach the public. What's undeniable, though, is that hip-hop had never seen a legal war this raw, this personal, or this dangerous. Because when fame collides with grief and loyalty mixes with money, truth doesn't just get buried, it gets rewritten. And somewhere out there, someone still has the rest of those tapes, waiting, watching, deciding when to press play again. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where this story leaves us, in the quiet before the next storm. The lawsuit that started as a fight for justice turned into a battlefield of leaks, betrayals, and secrets that might never fully see the light of day. Lil Durk may have spoken his truth through music, and Kingvon's mom may have found her peace, but the world is still left wondering what really happened behind those courtroom doors. What was in those missing tapes? And who was powerful enough to make both sides go silent overnight? Now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think Lil Durk was the victim of a setup, or did his team really try to bury the truth? Was the joint statement a truce, or a cover-up? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this story's not over. It's just going underground. Make sure you hit like if you've been following this entire series from the start. Tap subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next chapter could break any day now. The streets are still whispering, and when the next piece drops, you'll want to be the first to know. This is Spillora, where the streets talk, the truth bleeds slowly, and the story never sleeps. And the story never sleeps.